Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, your boy DJ Anonymous, with another episode of Sports Biz Music Podcast. And I was here just thinking, and I talked about this before. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but this is a simple question for all of my millennials, and Gen X, and baby boomers, generations before that, the quiet generation, everybody, even the Gen Zs. Did social media or technology ruin life? And the reason why I asked that is because I remember, like, this had to be a few years ago. I was having a discussion with somebody, one of my colleagues, and then, they was a bit older. I was like 25 at the time, and I believe they was probably in their early 40s. Nah, they're probably like older than that. And they was pretty much saying that, they feel like social media and phones and everything ruin, life, like ruin just the social life. And at the time, I understood where it was coming from, but I wasn't really I don't think it did. I think it's other things that kind of ruin, you know, regular life. But then fast forward, 10 years later, I'm 33 years old, and I'm like, waking up, going through life. Social media, I want to say technology ruined life because tech always have evolved through time, and like there was a time where we had phones, but people just used them for like text messaging and stuff. Like to be on the internet and all that at that time was just like you had to be rich or something, or your people had a deal with that, phone company to even browse the internet on your phone. But even if you had the opportunity at the time, we still was like, man, I'm using my desktop, I'm using my laptop. This was before iPads and all that, before tablets. Um, I want to say it's really, social media ruining, life, like regular life. Now, there's a difference between using social media as, you know, networking, as a tool, as content creators, because there's a lot of people that's making money, especially in this social media era, and how big y'all have been. And then also some people just use social media to, contact family members they don't see on a daily basis. But then there's a difference where, you just literally just on social media all day. Like all day. Like no break, no like you can't put the phone down for a few minutes. See, me, I ain't gonna be no hypocrite because I don't use social media like that, like I used to. But like I'm in fantasy leagues. I use my phone most of the time to watch sports and everything, or to read on newspapers and stuff like that. 'Cause now everything's digital, pretty much. But social media to me, if you don't use it as a tool, if you don't use social media and you let social media use you, I just feel like you need to take a break from it. Like for example, everything that pops up on social media is not true. It's not your life. It's not your you know it's not yours. So like for example, right? You know you have these people out here, and I'm not saying they scam me. I'm not saying everything they do is not true. But you have people out here that be saying like, oh, real estate this, real estate that. I got this big ass house, I got this, I got that. But then you have people that just don't, they either work a 9 to 5, or some just in school, or some just don't do nothing at all. And they see this and like get depressed. They get like, damn, I wish I had that right now. Not knowing that what the person is doing, I can't say they wrong, and I can't say that they wrong because at the end of the day they marketing. But I just wish that at least 95% of the people on these platforms explain to people like, hey, like it's a grind. Like it took me 5, 6 years, 7 years to even get to this point. Even longer than that. I mean, it's an anomaly where you have some people that it take them 2 years or a few months to get to where they at. But that's real. That's still real, even in this day and age. Like, it's still real. Social media is like it makes people more blind to like the truth. And I learned that a while ago. I think I learned that maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But like I said, I tell you, like I used to be on social media a lot, and to me, at one point, like I used to use it as a tool because I used to DJ when I was younger. I got my podcast, I promoted, still do all this stuff to this day. But back then, I used to be stuck on social media, like looking at videos all the damn time, sharing stuff with people, doing all this stuff, right? And for me, it's like that really took up my time. Like it took up a lot of my time to like be more productive than I am. I tell people all the time, like, if you're gonna be on your phone for 30, 45 minutes looking at videos and stuff, one, make sure the video is something that you're interested in, but also gonna educate you. Because for me, at the end of the day, like, this new day and age, you can either read a book or go on YouTube or, you can do a lot. But for me, it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. And in this day and age, like I said, you got people on here on social media that tell you one thing, and then you got other people believing it, and then they try to do it, and it don't work. It's like you gotta wake up and be in reality of like, use social media as your tool. Like I have so many ideas, every day, and I'm like, I'm gonna use social media for this, for that, and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use them ideas. But that's what people need to understand. Like, social media has to be used as a tool, not as something that's gonna use you. So, in my opinion, social media ruins like just all everyday life. People will say technology, well, it's on the phone and everything, but I'm like, you can control them. You could definitely control it. Technology always been around, from computers, from video games, from your radio, from, your car, everything. And I just feel like, when I look back, like I'm a 90s baby. I was born in the early 90s. And the 2000s, I always tell people that it was the most, probably to me, it may not be like the golden era of the 80s. It may not be the greatest decade like the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Some people may say the 70s was like that thing, for the older people, the older folk. But for me, the 2000s, to me, even look back at it, like back in life, was probably the most balanced life and like the most balanced time ever. Like that, I think about it. In the 2000s, social media. I mean, social media wasn't around. Social media been around for a long time. I'm talking about like Black Planet, MySpace, which is like my generation, with my group, my age group. Facebook and Twitter came around like a little later, late 2000s. Who else? I mean, you had AIM. Shout out to people that know about AIM. And if you had a BlackBerry, they had BBM. So BBM was like, you know, it was pretty much like instant texting. Like, back in the day, we didn't have like, I mean, you had the iPhone, but even back then, like the iPhone, wasn't as popular as it is now, and a lot of people that have the iPhone. And back then, like text messages used to take a minute. Like you don't realize, like text messages back then, like in the 2000s, like it probably took like a little minute to receive it. You know what I'm saying? And then like back then, you couldn't be on your phone to text people. Like that just happened recently, maybe like a few years ago, where you could text while you on the phone. Like well, nah, it happened maybe late. Maybe when I was in college, like you could like send text messages, you could send photos while you on the phone with another person. But yeah, everything was just different. Like everything, like yeah, we had social media, but our social media, we wasn't like on there just to be on there. Like we was on there building websites. Cause you gotta think about it, we was coding and everything, was setting up our website. Um, we was talking to people that we knew, that we known. Cause you gotta remember, not everybody back then had a cell phone. Like me, I didn't get a cell phone, I think, until like my 8th grade year. And it was a Nokia, so like I ain't receive no photos, nothing like that. Like until probably like I think my 9th or 10th grade year. So yeah, like we used that like for communication. Like for example, if someone had a party or you want to meet up, like we go through there, and then like if you don't know where exactly is at, we had to use either somebody that knew where we was going, or you had to use MapQuest, and you had to print that shit up. That was in good old days, man. Good old. I could talk about that all day. Man, it was just balance. Like people still went outside. Not saying people don't go outside now, but like it was more sociable. Now everybody wasn't stuck on their phone, like and then granted, like you had like the Game Boys, you had all these video games, you had all these computers out. But people were still social. Like people still, like even inside the house, people wasn't on their phone, on their iPad. They was talking. Like, it wasn't about no, or what I seen on social media. It was more of like current events, like. And that's another thing that I meant. Like, yeah, we still have current events because, that's one of the things about social media is that it's gonna keep you a little bit more updated than like regular media, like regular, the news and everything. But like back then, the current events was more like, all right, we talk about like pop culture. We talk about like, oh, this album coming out this week and stuff like that. And, oh, the Dolphins playing the Jets and Hurricanes playing FSU. Like, man, who you going for? Then we'll talk about like bad shit, like the 9/11 happened and stuff like that. I was young though, but I still hear people talk about it. But even after that, like as years went by, as you got older, we'll talk about it. You would have like local stuff that went on, like a house went on fire or something like that, or somebody won $1 million in the lottery. Like it was more social back then, like. And I think what happened was COVID kind of messed that up, but then it was crazy because COVID during that time, people was more sociable. Like, cause you gotta remember, we couldn't go out, we couldn't go outside, we couldn't go to work. Well, I mean, some of us couldn't go to work, some of us couldn't go to school. Well, majority of us, you stuck in the house. So it was like we had to be social, you know. And for me, it's like I think from that time, like, cause before then, like I was always on my phone. But when COVID came, COVID kind of taught me, like, bro, like use everything that we have available to us now as a tool, not for pleasure all the time, you know. Cause we have easy access. Like for me, I'm on YouTube for majority of the time because I'm getting information, but I don't solely depend on YouTube. So like I like want to read some books, I want to read some articles. You know, I want to like if I have like whenever I see like an older person like, and I love the older generation, and if they know the subject, I always like try to ask them questions. Like you have to get back to the like. To me, it's not technology that ruins regular life. It's social media. Social media got people believing, oh, I can be this, I can be no. Social media ruin relationships, whether it's marriage or friendships or business. Like social media is a drug, and you have to use it for you for a tool, not let you use it. Let me say that one more time. Not you don't let social media use you. 'Cause you get stuck in your phone, you stuck in your iPad, or your computer even, and you just be stuck on it all day. Now, if you on there, you networking, you meeting new people, you know what I'm saying, you gaining, knowledge and stuff, that's one thing. But proof is in the pie. Social media is ruining everything. And I'm not saying not to use it, I'm just saying like use it, but bring that balance. You know, I always refer to go back to the 2000s. Like we still had CDs. We had CDs, we had USBs, we had DVDs, we had the radio. It was a perfect balance. Like, and low key, we did have streaming, but a lot of people wasn't using that shit back then. Like, like I believe Napster was like kind of low key, and like iTunes low key was streaming. You had to buy the music, but that was like kind of like low key streaming. You know what I'm saying? Even with podcasts existed since probably like forever. If you think about it, like the first ever podcast I listened to was because of school. You know what I'm saying? Especially in literature classes, like we had to listen to like these shows. It was called like podcast or something like that. I'm like, man, what is this? And we had to listen to it for like 30 minutes because it gave us information. But like we have to get back to that balance of life again. Like me, I love school, I love work because you social with people. You bounce ideas from different people. You gain real friendships. You gain real relationships. You know what I'm saying? AI. I don't want to say AI. AI could potentially be the next thing that can ruin. But like I said again, AI could just be used as a tool. AI can change your life. Just don't let AI use you. Just put it like this. And I'm trying to old school. Don't let nothing use you. You use that. Like I'm pretty sure back in the 30s and 40s, 20s and stuff, when people, They have, TVs and stuff, and they went to the movies. They wasn't stuck at the movies all the time. They were like, man, I'm gonna use this as like on dates, or use this to be like a thing where I can take out people for like, to try to get new business. Think about it, man. Like, think about like how everything is like. Let's talk. Since it's sports business music. Think about how most businesses are like conducted, and most businesses are like, bro. They go out to eat, they go out to the movies. Some people like to, hey, let's play Madden. Like, like you use whatever that you are good at. You use that to help you to grow in life. I ain't saying not to have pleasure. Like sometimes some people want to be 10, 15, 20 minutes surfing on the internet, surfing on social media, looking at stuff, catching up on certain things, have a little laugh. But don't become a zombie of it. That's with anything. But what I'm saying is that social media is on the top of the list. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, when this episode come out, let's just go to a short episode. Y'all just have y'all opinion. Like, y'all let me know, like, what ruined, this modern day. Like, was it social media? Was it technology in general? Was it COVID? Was it video games? Is it because kind of go back to COVID, but is it because like the social social distance, like did that ruin like? So I just miss the old days. Like I could come home and just talk to like my partner for an hour, couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Talk to my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like just have these conversations. Talk to my cousin. Like just talk to people. Like what I'm saying? Put the phone down. Like learn how to put the phone down. You know? Yeah, man. This be your boy DJ Anonymous for another episode of Sports Biz Music, the podcast. That's just something that was in my mind. Hopefully, I have a guest on the show one day to talk about this, so I can go a little bit deeper into the subject because it could go real deep. Like, the only reason why I ain't going real deep because I'm driving and going to work. But yeah, so I'm out. Peace.